Hi friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we have to discuss about creating threads in Java programming. It is one of the most important concepts in Java programming. To create the threads in Java programming, we have to use the two approaches. First one is by extending the thread class. Second one is by implementing the runnable interface. By using these two approaches, we are creating the threads in Java programming. Now, first we have to implement how to create the threads by extending the thread class. What are the steps we have to follow for creating the threads using thread class? First, we have to create a class called test. It extends the thread class in java.lang package. By using this statement, the test class can inheriting the properties from thread class available in java.lang package. Now, test is the subclass and thread is the superclass. To inherit the properties from the thread class into the test class, we have to use extends keyword. Next one, we already know that the thread class contains the run method. Now we have to override the run method of thread class in the test class. Now we have to override the run method of thread class by using run method in test class. In that run method, we are printing the I value 1 to 5. I plus plus system dot out dot println of I. Now we have to close the for loop, we have to close the run method, we have to close the class. Next, we have to create another class thread creation. Another class name is thread creation. Now we have to write the main method public static void main string arguments. In that main method, we have to create the object for the test class. Okay, test class is nothing but subclass over a derived class. Okay, test T is equal to new test. Now T dot start method. T dot start method. Okay, start method is used for starting the execution of the thread. Okay, to start the execution of the thread, we are creating the object for the subclass test. By using that object, we can access the start method in the thread class. Whenever start method is called by using the object T, we are starting the execution of the thread. Whenever start method is called, it implicitly calls the run method in test class. In the run method, we are printing the values from 1 to 5. After the operation is completed, then we have to stop the execution of the thread. Okay. So this is the procedure we have to follow for creating a thread by extending the thread class. The first step is creating a user defined class by extending the thread class. Second step is override the run method of the thread class within the test class. The third step is creating the object for the test class. By using that object, we are starting the execution of the thread by using the start method. It implicitly calls the run method in the test class. That run method is executed. So this is the procedure we have to follow for creating a thread by extending the thread class. Okay. Now we have to compile this program. First we have to save this program. Thread creation.java. Thread creation.java. Click on save button. After saving this program, now we have to compile this program. Javac thread creation dot java. Here one simple error, static spelling mistake. Save. Again we have to compile this program. Here variable I is not declared. So here we have to write int I is equal to 1. Again we have to save this program. Now we have to compile this program. Now the program is successfully compiled. Now we have to run this program. Java thread creation. See this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is printed. Okay. This is the simple program for creating the threads by using thread class. Okay. Now, what are the steps we have to follow for creating a thread by extending the thread class? First step is create any thread object in Java. We need to create a subclass derived from the thread class. First step is create a subclass derived from the thread class. Okay. So for that one we have to use this syntax: class, class name, extends, thread class. In our program we are already writing class, class name is a test, extends, thread. Okay. The first step is creating a user defined class by extending the thread class. For that one we have to use this syntax. Second one is override the run method of the thread class by using the derived class. So see this one here, we have to override the run method of the thread class by the subclass called test. The third step is creating the object for the test class. For that one, we have to use this syntax. Class name, object name is equal to new class name. Here class name is a test, object name is a t is equal to new text. Next one, object name dot start method. Object name is a t dot start method. It implicitly calls the run method, overridden run method of test class and perform the action. So these are the three steps we have to follow for creating a thread by extending the thread class. Okay. Next, second method is implementing the runnable interface for creating the threads. Now the second program is Java program to create a thread by implementing runnable interface. Here also the first step is create one user defined class that implements the runnable interface. So class test1 implements runnable. Here the runnable interface contains only abstract methods. To provide the definition for the abstract methods available in the runnable interface, we have to create one user defined class, that is test1. Okay, text1 is a class. It provides the implementation of abstract method that is available in the runnable interface. Here runnable interface contains one abstract method called run method. To provide the definition for the run method in the runnable interface, we have to create one user defined class called test1. In that class we have to provide the implementation for the abstract method called run method in the runnable interface. Public void run. In that run method we have to execute one simple program for printing I is equal to 1 to 5. Int I is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 5, I plus plus. System dot out dot println I. We have to close the for loop, we have to close the run method, we have to close the class. Okay. Now we have to create one more class, class thread creation 1. Thread creation 1. In that class we have to write the main method public static void main string arguments. Here we have to create the object for the class test1. Okay. So test1 is the derived class over our subclass. Test1 T is equal to new test1. So T is called as the object reference for text1. This object reference can be passed as a parameter for the thread class object. We have to create the object for the thread class. T1 is equal to new thread. Here whatever the object reference that we are created for the test1 class, that object can be passed as a parameter for the thread class. Once we are passing the object reference as a parameter for the thread class, now by using the object of the thread class, we have to access the start method, because start method is available in the thread class, but start method is not available in the test1 class. Okay, so that we are creating the object for the thread class. By using that object T1, we are accessing the start method. Whenever start method is accessed, it implicitly calls the run method available in the test1 class and perform the task that is provided within the run method. Okay, so this is the simple program for creating a thread by implementing the runnable interface. Okay, here the first step is creating a user defined class that implements the runnable interface, because runnable interface contains only abstract methods. To provide the implementation for the abstract methods, we have to use one class. That class is called as test1. Test1 implements the runnable interface. Whatever the abstract method that is present in the runnable interface, that method can be overridden in the test1 class. Runnable interface contains only abstract method called run method. To provide the implementation for the run method, we have to use one class called test1. In that test1 class, we have to override the run method, and whatever the action we have to perform, that action logic can be written within the run method. Okay, now we are creating the object for the user defined class. That object reference can be passed as a parameter for the thread class. Okay, by creating the object called T1. Now by using this object T1, we are accessing the start method of the thread class. It implicitly calls the run method of test1 class, and whatever the logic that is provided within the run method, that can be executed. So this is the procedure we have to follow for creating a thread by implementing the runnable interface. Okay. Now we have to save this program. Thread creation 1.java. Thread creation 1 dot Java. Click on save button. The program is successfully saved with thread creation 1 dot Java. Now we have to compile this program. Java C thread creation 1 dot Java. The program is successfully compiled. Now we have to run this program. Java thread creation 1. Now we are printing the I value from 1 to 5. Okay. So in this way we have to create threads by using two approaches. First one is by extending the thread class, and second one is by implementing the runnable interface. So thank you for watching this video. If you really like my session, please forward this session to your friends and classmates. Please subscribe my YouTube channel if you really like this video. After subscribing my YouTube channel, click on the bell icon to get the future updates in my YouTube channel. If you have any doubts, please put your doubts in the comment section. I will clarify your doubts. Okay.